Hello, this is Winston Cunningham. It is August 6th, 2023, and I'd like to talk about the eye of the storm. In language of mind, a storm represents confusion, the turmoil that we experience in our thoughts before there is clarity. And in order to find clarity in any situation, it goes back to the phrase, be still and know that I am God. And the intention of working toward the understanding of who you are at that level requires a lot of meditation, concentration, memory, all sorts of things. So the storm is the turmoil that we experience when we're thinking, usually with our emotions. And emotions are necessary as a way of acknowledging what is occurring. You kind of bring it to the surface. But in the process of creating and establishing and manifesting or finishing a goal we set for ourselves, there's going to be, I have another talk called Pain in Childbirth, which describes how what you have to go through in order to get something new stirred up, and it is a stirring. If you expect it to all be peaceful, you're going to have some disappointments. Now, peacefulness is necessary for us to reach any sort of clarity. And so during the storm of life, which is continuous, and you learn to relax and observe what is going on rather than get caught up in it. So in the storm of life, you look for the eye of the storm, and as you listen to enough weather forecasts, I say, in the eye of the storm, there is stillness. And I've heard about airplanes actually navigating in that space. It's so peaceful. But everything is tumultuous around him. Now, if you look at the world as it is now, you'll see that tumultuousness or that chaos is going on in many places. There's wars and all kinds of foolishness going on. And the stimulus is for each person to navigate toward the eye of the storm where there is peace. When you can get into the eye of the storm, that peacefulness within you, then that gives you the wherewithal to deal with the storm that you're in the middle of. So to stay relaxed. Almost on a daily basis, I'll introduce somebody to the 636 breathing, which is very simply the remedy for anxiety. And it doesn't matter what the anxiety is. You do the 636 breathing, which is breathe in through your nose while you count to 6, hold while you count to 3, and breathe out through your mouth while you count to 6. And breathing from your diaphragm. I tell people to breathe in and out, not up and down, because up and down means you're tied up with your emotions. So breathe in and out will relax you. And so you do the 636 breathing over and over again while visualizing yourself relaxing. And I've been doing it for 36 years, and it works pretty good. And it takes care of any kind of anxiety. So you have a choice of getting to navigating in the storm, or as a way of dealing with the storm, you can go into the eye of the storm, which is the peace that is within you, that is there, all it has been from the beginning. It's in dream language. If you see a house in your dream, if it relates as home, a home is the natural state of mind, which is peace. And if you need more stimulation to peace, then every morning at 7:30, Terence Lamont Bellows and his buddies at the School of Metaphysics are reading aloud the Universal Peace Covenant, and pay attention to that, and tell all your friends and enemies about it, because everybody needs to know it. And I've told Terence and his friends that are people involved at the School of Metaphysics are doing some good work there, and I told them I appreciate it, because I put a lot of attention on peace. I like peace. In fact, I avoid situations where there's a lack of it, unless there's something I can do about it, which is usually not. Best to just go along and visualize them being peaceful and giving what I can to that situation. The essence of the energy that I have to offer sometimes will cause a peacefulness in a particular situation. I found this out pretty early on at the School of Metaphysics, because one of the first things we learned is to expand the light, which is located at the solar plexus area, and there's a whole expansion of light that gravitates into, after each class at the School of Metaphysics, there's the circle of love, which causes the expansion of light throughout the universe and from within itself. And so there's a process. You'll want to look it up and become acquainted with that. I think they've got a little book that explains it. But anyway, as I was learning to expand the light, I was down the street and I was with a branch school in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was down the street having a meal one time at a kind of a steakhouse where you stand in line and order your food, and then you go through a buffet and you get your salad and so forth, and then they bring you whatever you ordered. But I was standing there in line, and I was way back in the line, and it was noisy, and people were, that tumultuousness was in the room. And so what I did was I just put my attention on expanding my light, and within a couple of minutes you could have heard a pin drop. The peacefulness just came into it. Now you can have this effect wherever you go. So learn how to expand the light, and even call somebody at the School of Metaphysics and ask them how to do it. That's the best way. And while you're at it, find out what else you can get there. But that was a good experience for me, because I just wanted to see what the effect would be. And I was amazed and impressed too, because from everybody just kind of being chaotic and normal circumstance, everybody just graduated into a peacefulness, and I caused that. And so I practice this a lot. Whenever you go into any situation, expand your light. One of the directors that I met used to direct a school in Des Moines, Iowa, I think. He had started a new class which had 30 people show up, and this was almost unheard of, to have that many show up for a new class. And so I asked him how he did it. And he said, well, he went everywhere in the school, and it was in a house. He would go to this place on the couch, expand the light. He'd go sit at the kitchen table, expand the light. Everywhere, all the way throughout the house, he'd just sit down here and expand the light all over. And that's how he attracted those people, because the people, may not know, have identified what attracted them, but they can feel it. They can feel pulled towards something. And so by expanding the light, you can set the tone that will help people find what they're looking for. There's a lot more to you than you may suspect. And the School of Metaphysics can help you see more of that, or all you want to see. I'll put it that way. But anyway, remember, the eye of the storm can be achieved anywhere, anytime, any place. This is universally true, which supports a universal law. And so, little by little, you discover truth, and you begin to use truth, and so truth expands into your life. And you can be in the eye of the storm. Thank you.